You know, some players win games, a select few change them. But then there's that one player, the one who made the entire world just smile every single time he touched a football. Yep, today we're diving into the life and legacy of the magician himself, Ronaldinho.
So, what was it about him? What made him so special? I mean, yeah, you can look at the trophies, the stats, but that's really only half the picture, isn't it? With Ronaldinho, it was always about something more. He wasn't just a footballer. He was an artist, a performer. That infectious joy he had, it was a powerful reminder of why we all fell in love with this game to begin with.
Okay, so to really get the artist, you've got to go right back to the beginning. And our story, it doesn't start in some fancy stadium. Nope, it starts on the streets of Porto Alegre in southern Brazil. That's where this legend was quietly being forged.
So he was born Ronaldo de Assis Moreira right there in Porto Alegre. And he grew up just completely surrounded by football. I mean, it was the family passion. His dad, João, was a former player himself, and his older brother, Roberto, was already making waves at the local club, Grêmio. So you could say the game was literally in his blood from day one.
But his childhood was also marked by this really profound tragedy. When he was just 8 years old, he lost his father in a terrible drowning accident. It was just a devastating blow, the kind of thing that could have derailed everything for him.
And in the face of that loss, something incredible happened. His family grew even closer. His brother, Roberto, he really stepped up. He became more than just a sibling. He was a father figure, supporting the family and, guiding Ronaldinho's unbelievable talent. That bond, that became the absolute foundation of his resilience.
And that resilience, well, it fueled an absolutely incredible talent. He joined Grêmio's youth system when he was just 7, and his rise was, well, nothing short of meteoric. Seriously, a pro debut at 17, and then just 2 years later, he's leading the team to a state championship. A star was born, for sure, and the world was definitely starting to take notice.
So naturally, a talent this bright, well, he wasn't going to stay in Brazil for long, right? The next chapter of his story would take him clear across the Atlantic, where he was about to introduce his totally unique brand of football to Europe.
Okay, so his first stop, Paris Saint-Germain, back in 2001. You can think of this as his European introduction, right? The big stage where he got to show off his unbelievable skill and creativity. But it was his move to FC Barcelona in 2003 that was truly the game changer. This wasn't just a transfer. This was the moment a star became a global icon.
And what happened next was just pure magic. At Barcelona, Ronaldinho hit the absolute peak of his powers. He basically single-handedly lifted the entire club and just mesmerized the entire footballing world.
And yeah, the trophies definitely followed. We're talking 2 Spanish league titles, a Champions League crown. And get this, for 2 years straight, he was officially named the best player on the entire planet. He wasn't just playing well, he was the top of the footballing world. Now, to really get this, you need a little context. That Champions League trophy in 2006, it wasn't just another cup in the cabinet. No way. It ended a 14-year drought for Barcelona. 14 years. He restored them to the absolute pinnacle of European football. He literally delivered what the fans have been dreaming of for over a decade. And this next part, this just brilliantly sums up his universal appeal. I mean, think about this for a second. To be so good, so ridiculously brilliant that the fans of your biggest, most bitter rivals, Real Madrid, actually stand up and applaud you in their own stadium. That's almost unheard of. It's just the ultimate testament to a talent that went way beyond rivalry.
So alongside all that amazing club success, he also hit the highest peak you can on the international stage. After that, he kind of embarked on a winding road through the final chapters of his career. You see, his brilliance wasn't just for his clubs. When he pulled on that famous yellow jersey for Brazil, man, he was an absolute force of nature. His international career really peaked in 2002, when he was a key part of that legendary squad that lifted the FIFA World Cup. He had conquered the world.
So after that absolute peak, his career kind of became a global tour. He went from AC Milan, then back to Brazil with Flamengo and Atletico Mineiro. He even had spells in Mexico, and then one final stop with Fluminense. And you know what? He still showed those flashes of pure genius wherever he went. And then finally, in early 2018, the curtain came down. Ronaldinho officially announced he was retiring, bringing an end to one of the most entertaining and purely joyful careers the sport has ever seen.
But look, his story doesn't really end with his retirement, does it? Because his legacy, it isn't just about what he won. It's about how he played. He was, in the truest sense of the word, an artist.
He was really the ultimate embodiment of jogo bonito, the beautiful game. For him, it wasn't just about winning. It was about expression, it was about creativity, and it was about playing with this freedom and flair that was just so infectious. He made football beautiful.
So when you really break it all down, his legacy seems to rest on three main pillars. First, resilience. Overcoming that heartbreaking loss as a kid. Second, just unbelievable skill. He completely redefined what was possible with a ball at your feet. And third, and maybe most importantly, joy. That constant smile that reminded all of us that, hey, this game, it's supposed to be fun.
And all this kind of leaves us with one final thought. In today's game, which is so structured, so data-driven, where tactics and systems can sometimes just overshadow individual brilliance, it makes you wonder, right? Will we ever see a player like him again? A pure genius who played just for the absolute love of it, with a smile that could literally light up an entire stadium.